Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is me, Mysterious Cameraman, and today we're going to be talking about the future of the Crimsonverse and my predictions. So, Flash Season 3 wrapped up just yesterday, but by the time it's releasing, it's probably a few weeks, maybe a month, and I promised that I'd do a prediction video. So, this is going to be pretty much predicting everything pre- and post-crisis, as well as stuff that Liam has said. We're going to be talking about all of it. The one thing I'm not going to be discussing is Doctor Who, because I'm not very aware of that side of their universe. So I'm going to be honest, I'm not mentioning pretty much anything Doctor Who related. So they could show up in Crisis and stuff, but I'm not going to be talking about them. Besides that, we're going to be in the video with another one of our July daily videos, so check out any of our other videos in July. Besides that, let's jump into the video. So we're going to begin with discussing what they've done. They've done 3 seasons of The Flash, and Constantine. Now let's talk about what we know. We know Crisis begins pretty soon. However, from what Liam commented, which he commented a lot on the Flash episode 6 finale, it looks like Crisis is going to begin in the fall, I believe, of 2025. So it looks like that's when it's actually going to begin. It looks like in 1 year from September. I think that was the part I maybe was misunderstanding. In 1 year from September, when he comes back from the portal, that's when Crisis begins, not 1 year from June, because that's what I thought originally. I just misunderstood that. But that is a huge thing, so we know when Crisis is. We also know that Flash Season 4 will most likely not release until January. We're going to talk about that quickly. They've confirmed Cicada as the main villain, which is, in my opinion, a genius decision for a main villain. I have said in my Flash Season 5, Is It Still Good video, how much I love the villain of Cicada. I just don't think it was ever done well in the actual in the show. I don't think Cicada's a great villain, but he's not a great villain for 23 episodes. He's a good villain for 6 or 5 or however many episodes Season 4 is going to be. I know they're beginning production on that season very soon, and they are going to be doing it week drops of the episodes. So I'm very excited to see that. I'm very much hoping that it's going to be a really awesome season. We also do know Killer Frost is going to be it. I personally am not a huge fan of Killer Frost, but I think Cicada is their big thing. I think if Killer Frost is a hero, then it could work. We also have confirmed New Dawn Fades, which is releasing in October. We knew this was releasing for a while now, so that's the next official Crimsonverse thing, and that is a Arrow fan film. They also confirmed that a Batman fan film will be releasing prior to Crisis, which is huge. We know that means that there's probably, I think you could assume, a May or June release for that Batman thing. So I'm not going to necessarily be talking about, I'm going to discuss why I think what's going to happen in the universe later in the video. I think Batman's probably going to release May or June of 2025. I think they're probably going to take the summer off, or at least July off with Fantastic Four and Superman Legacy. And from what I'm expecting them to do, I think that I could very much be wrong on this. I think Superman is not going to be released. I think Superman actually will release prior to Crisis. I think we're going to be getting Superman either before Crisis or it's not happening. I think we're not going to be getting any Constantine 2 until post-Crisis. And I think pretty much once Batman happens, I don't think we're getting Season 5 of The Flash. I think Season 4 of The Flash that's it for The Flash. And I think that's all the DC stuff we're getting. Oh, one more thing. The Justice League or Justice Society, there is going to be something like what that was Stargirl and a few other heroes, which they confirmed. I'm assuming that's going to be August. I think that's going to be very late, and then Crisis is going to be in the fall. I think the JSA or whatever it's going to be movie is going to release very late into the year. Or short film or whatever. As for the Marvel stuff, I think it's going to be a series of short films. I think the Marvel universe is going to kick off with a few short films, kind of like how Flash Season 1 began. I think it could either be a series or a few short things, but it's not going to be like full fan films like Constantine. I think it could be like a Captain America short 20-minute fan film, then a short one for Punisher, And I think it's going to be these short things because after Crisis, it's going to be a very Marvel universe. Marvel is going to be taking the front stage, and then everything else is going to be taking, like the DC universe is going to be going towards the back, which I will say is not shocking. I've loved a lot of their stuff in the DC universe, but I don't see how they're going to maintain it almost. I don't think they're going to want to maintain it. Because they've been, from how much they've been releasing, they pretty much have to go from filming to filming pretty much every week. And honestly, once you've been playing a character for that long, you might not want to keep playing it. But I think they've gotten a pretty solid cast. I think they might actually have a bigger cast for Marvel. I think like they started the Flash fan series, it caught on, and then they had a few DC fans, but I wouldn't be shocked if they're making this change because there's going to be more Marvel fans. As for what I feel about, and then Crisis, as you know, it's going to be a huge event. He said it's not really going to be 1 or 2 episodes or a series or a film. It's going to be like an event, so I'm excited to see what that means. As for the other things that are going to be happening, kind of my thoughts on it. Green Arrow, let's just go through one by one. Green Arrow I think is going to be pretty solid. I have seen Dead Souls. I do not plan on reviewing Dead Souls. The reason why I just haven't got around to reviewing it. I've seen it. I thought it was very good, but I don't really think I'm going to get around to reviewing it ever. I'm going to maybe mention it in my New Dawn Fades video. From what I understand with New Dawn Fades, I think it could be very interesting. I think Komodo is a very interesting villain for it, and I'm very excited to see what they do with New Dawn Fades, and I think it could be very well, especially with how they're getting, especially with what they did with Dead Souls. I'm very excited to see what they do next. So New Dawn Fades should be very good. Next is Flash Fan Series Season 4. This is the big one. I might have to make a video even closer to it discussing the big predictions. But from what I think so far, I think this series is going to be very good. I really do. I think this season is going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be better than Season 3, but I think Cicada is a very interesting villain, but they have to nail it. Like, that's the thing. Cicada, I think, is a very interesting villain because he's so good, but you have to get it right. You can't screw up his character. I think his character, honestly, is actually a pretty simple thing. He has the dagger, and he takes away the meta powers. So I think it's a very interesting idea. I think the CW failed at it, but I'm very excited to see how they do it. I think the thing with them is it works when there's a team of metahumans. So I hope in Season 4, we get a lot of metahumans. Maybe we get Stargirl and her team in this season, and they are introduced, and they're the metahumans, so we get a lot more heroes, especially meta powers. I think if it's just Flash versus Cicada pretty much, and maybe Killer Frost on his side, I think that will fail, actually, because I think they need to have more heroes, so it is kind of like Cicada is a threat because he is able to take on all these heroes, because Cicada can beat Flash one-on-one in a fight, and I think bringing in Batman or Arrow kind of defeats the purpose of Cicada, because I think then it kind of is like, what's the point of having him be the villain if he's kind of just going to be beaten by these other people without powers? I think what they did so interesting in the CW is how they had Killer Frost be immune to it, because it wasn't from the particle accelerator, it was inside her, so it was more of a mutation than a metahuman. So what I love about that is it made it so there was still a way the team could beat Cicada. So I think if they make Cicada almost like a horror movie villain, I think that's how it would work. The issue that I find with it is I think they'd really have to get almost a different team onto it. Like, I think the project would really have to become with pretty much a new team with new ideas, almost, because it would have to be very choreography, hand-to-hand heavy, I think. And I just don't think because they can't use speed that much. That's the thing. So they can't just avoid fights with speed. So it has to be, how can we do some good hand-to-hand action? And they have gotten better at it, yes. I really do hope, though, that they could get like a really solid choreographer, and they also could get writers on that really know how to write the horror genre. Because The Flash Season 3, while it was good, it still maintained some of the Flash humor that wouldn't work for Cicada. Even if they had Flash be his normal self sometimes in some scenes, but the Cicada scenes would have to be shot differently, written differently, because he should be a presence more than a person. And I think if they can nail that, they will nail Cicada. And I think he's such an interesting villain to do. I think he's also such a great villain to do. But I think they have to figure out, how am I going to get this character done well? As for Batman, I honestly have no clue what they're going to do with it. I hope for Two-Face, because I love Two-Face. I have pitched, I'm actually coming later this month, and I'm pitching a Batman fan series, which is actually going to be, you'll see it in the video later this month. But honestly, I have like multiple drafts of a Batman fan film in my Google Drive, because I've just written them, thinking I'm going to do them. I've never done them. So I have like 3 or 4 of them or something. I don't even know. I think they're all the same thing, just all edited. So I think it's like 3 or 4 drafts of the same thing. I think Two-Face has never been tapped into his full potential, because I don't think people see the potential in a villain like that. But I think Two-Face could be incredible. So I really hope they go for Two-Face. If they don't, though, I think they're probably going to go for Riddler or Joker. I don't see them going for a Poison Ivy. I don't see them going for a Scarecrow, a Mr. Freeze. Yeah, I don't see them going for really anyone else besides Riddler or Joker, but who knows. As for the JSA, or Justice League, whatever, I can't even talk about it because I have no clue on anything on the project. And as for Crisis, I think Flash is going to die. I'm going to say that right now. The reason why I think that is because in Liam's comment, he said that the Marvel fans universe is going to really take over the DC universe, and not just that, but it's going to become, Crisis is going to be a Marvel DC event, which I love. But I really hope that if they have Marvel take over DC, they have to be committed to it almost, like make it Marvel fully. I don't know how big of Marvel/DC fans they are. I don't know if they're more DC, more Marvel. I don't really know. I know they started off as DC pretty fully. I don't know how they're going to do Marvel, because, again, Marvel's a lot more hand-to-hand than anything they've done before. They really do need to find, like, a really solid choreographer. I think that's a huge thing. If they could get, like, a hand-to-hand artist on this, it would bring all of their shows up so much. The reason why I think Flash is going to die is because I don't think that they can carry on a Flash Season 5 as well as the Marvel Universe and have them compete on the main stage, because that's what happened with Constantine. So I don't see how they do that. I also don't see why that's a decision they make, because I feel like at this point there's not much they can do more with the Flash almost, because they've already used 4 of the villains of the Flash. I don't think they're going to use Thinker. They could. And they could use Bloodwork, but Bloodwork's also a very challenging villain. But I don't see them using Mirror Master, because she was terrible. I don't see them using either of the Elements, because they were bad. I don't see them ever bringing back Thawne, unless it's like a season finale or series finale. I don't even know who the final villain of Season 7 was. I can't even recall it. Probably was something I hated. No, it was Godspeed. Actually, I could see Godspeed being the final villain, but I doubt they're going to go back to speedsters. I think Cicada is a very interesting villain to end on. If they were to go back to Godspeed, they'd have to have a good reason to. And I don't see them doing Cobalt Blue either. So I just hope that if they end the Flash fan series, they have to end it right, and then they have to kill off Flash right. With that, I don't know if they're going to kill off Arrow or Batman. I will say I'm not fully on board with the Marvel Universe yet, I'm just going to say, because when they did their thing, it felt more like a sketch than an episode. I feel like I've really adapted to seeing Ethan as Batman and Scott as Arrow and then Liam as Flash. And I think that's also the characters they embody. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to switch to these other characters. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. And I think maybe we're going to see more in the future, and I'm going to get more on board with it. But I really hope that they really go on board with Marvel if they want to do that. And they don't, they have to make sure they're on board with it. I think that's the big thing. And I think I'm going to just end the video here. I don't think I have many more thoughts to say. So besides that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.